Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a breakdown look at the upcoming Transformers Studio Series releases. New York Toy Fair is now in full swing, and we have a slew of in-hand images of some of the brand new upcoming releases. The majority of the figures shown in this video I have previously spoken about, however this is our first look at having some of these figures in hand. The first figure I shall be discussing is the Transformers Dark of the Moon Leader Class Optimus Prime. This is Optimus Prime based on his appearance from Dark of the Moon, where he has the trailer, the armory and the Jetwing pack, and I must definitely say that it looks a lot worse in hand than it did in those initial images. As you can see, the cannons on his arms are completely unpainted and they are in these really dull grey plastic. It looks really unsightly, and it's such a shame as the cannons do appear to have some nice detailing. The detailing of the wings is fairly basic. As you can see, they do look quite hollow, especially in the engine/turbine sections. However, I do imagine that those top sections could probably fold down in order to fill out some of the gaps. I think it looks extremely underwhelming, and considering this figure will be priced at the leader class price point, I would have at least expected Hasbro and Takara to paint this figure accurately to the movie. They appear to be using the exact same mold that we've just recently got, that being the SS32 Optimus Prime, and simply just replace the abdomen section. Considering they've skimped out on this way and they're earning a fortune off the previous mold, I would have at least expected them to put some money into the overall jetpack. This does, however, confirm a theory that I presented a while back, that being that the extra abdomen section you get with the leader class Jetfire is to swap out the abdomen section of this version to make it compatible with that Jetfire figure. It kind of makes the SS32 release completely redundant, as essentially you have the first movie and Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime optional if you pick up both this figure and the leader class Jetfire. Taking a look at Optimus in both his truck and trailer mode, as you can see they have added the additional orange fade to the front of the truck, which is definitely a nice inclusion as it makes the truck mode look a lot more accurate. However, it's such a shame that the trailer is just a bland grey plastic, as opposed to the initial promotional images that we got of this figure, initially presenting it with having a fantastic silver paint deco. This is obviously to keep costs at a minimum, and although the trailer is fairly large, I would have liked it if they could have perhaps added a glossy type of grey plastic instead of this really boring grey bland plastic. I do imagine that this trailer will be compatible with the Optimus Prime Voyager from the Bumblebee movie, so if you wish to plug that onto the Bumblebee release, I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to, seeing as the ports are the same size. The trailer will also have the ability to transform into the armory that we see in the movie. As you can see, I think this looks really cool, and I think they've definitely captured the look exceptionally well, so I guess that makes up for the lack of paint applications, as you are getting a fairly reasonable amount of accessories and additional parts with this particular figure. As you can see, it does include the axe accessory, as well as the additional shield that we see him utilize in the movie, and you'll no doubt be able to store the cannons as well as the Jetwing in this mode, so this really does make for a very movie accurate appearance and definitely will be really fun for kids to play with. I definitely think that it is a vast improvement over the previous Ultimate Optimus Prime, which turned into this really dreadful type of wing pack and had no armory of the sort that we can see with this figure. Personally, I'll definitely be picking it up, however there have been some cheap steps taken in the production of this figure, some of which I wish were adjusted. Nevertheless, it is definitely a nice release. The next figure we have a look at is the Studio Series Dropkick. This is the version that transforms into the AMC Javelin Alt mode, and personally I think it looks absolutely fantastic, especially in these in-hand images. We did get the announcement about a week ago, however I didn't do coverage on it, seeing as I didn't think the official images looked that good. However, this figure definitely does look like a vast improvement over the previous helicopter version. I think the head sculpt looks brilliant, and I really do like the proportions. I think the paint applications used are fairly nice, and it does appear to have a fairly simplistic transformation. However, I did read somewhere that it does have quite a considerable amount of steps, so perhaps this is deceiving my eyes. I do think the details look really well, and I'm so glad that we finally have Dropkick in his vehicle mode, as I really do prefer having Decepticons in land-based alt modes as opposed to helicopters. It is definitely nice to see a helicopter vehicle, however I definitely think that Dropkick in his robot mode looked more like he transformed into a vehicle as opposed to a helicopter. As you can see here, we have the door wings on the back, and I really like the way that the wheels fold into the shoulder section. It does definitely look like a very interesting transformation, especially for the arms. As you can see, the AMC Javelin Alt mode is very faithful to the movie, and it would be great to have this figure paired alongside the upcoming Studio Series Shatter, which is also going to be a vehicle mode figure. Next up, here we have some in-hand images of Studio Series Drift. The figure does definitely seem to be a remold of the helicopter Dropkick, especially in the leg sections. However, I can't really notice any similarities in the upper torso section. Personally, I think the robot mode on this figure looks great. It definitely looks very very elegant and slim like we see in the movie, and I really do like the blue accents on some of the armor plating. I also think the head sculpt is absolutely fantastic, and at least from the front there doesn't appear to be too much helicopter vehicle kibble hanging off the figure's shoulders. Upon looking at the robot mode at greater detail, you can see that they really captured the look of Drift with some fantastic sculpt work and really nice detailing. As you can see here, you can definitely see some similarities to Dropkick even in the moulding, so perhaps they are reusing pieces on this figure. However, for the most part, the upper torso section, head and arms all seem brand new. I think the sword accessories look fantastic, and this definitely is a marked improvement over the previous Voyager class helicopter Drift that we got back as part of the Age of Extinction toy line. Here we have an image of Drift in his helicopter alt mode, and here I think it looks fantastic also. It's really sleek and very distinctive looking vehicle mode, and I really love the tail end propeller. Now in the official in-hand images, it did showcase all the weapons integrated into the propeller. Here we've only got the two katanas, but I am pretty sure that the larger blades can also plug in. As I stated in my previous video, I do really like this integration of weapon storage, and overall I think that both modes of this figure look fantastic. It is definitely one on my pickup list, and I can't wait for it to hit retail. The next figure we have a look at is of Transformers Studio Series Deluxe Class Hightower, and I must say that out of all the reveals that have taken place this weekend, this is probably one of my favourite reveals so far. I just love how distinctive and really unique the design looks. As you can see, the treads seem to be extremely large and elongate down to the bottom, and he's got these extremely puny arms. He really does look a bit like a T-Rex, and I really do like the overall aesthetic. Hightower was of the character that we never initially got a figure of, and I don't believe he ever actually appeared in the movie, at least in robot form. And I think that the details are really nice. I really like how the crane hangs over the top of him. It does appear that this will be his weapon in robot mode. Now I'm not entirely sure whether this will have quite an interesting transformation or not. It does appear to be fairly simplistic, as the main torso doesn't seem to be touched that much. However, I will be intrigued to see how the legs and the head store away, and this will actually become part of the arm of Devastator. So it is great that we're getting a really cool team of Constructicons, especially when the design for this one is definitely really abstract and really unique. It will definitely be one of the weirdest Decepticons in the lineup. However, I definitely think it could be one of the best Deluxe class figures that we've got for the Studio Series, at least for the Decepticon and the Constructicon lineup. Here we have a closer up image of his face, and it looks very insectoid, much like we see with the rest of the Decepticons. Here we've got an image of his vehicle mode. It is just a normal construction vehicle, so definitely will fit in along with the rest of the Studio Series Constructicons. It looks fairly nice, and we have got some nice detailing on the treads, and I really do like the tower section with the crane at the top. It looks like a really detailed piece. The final figure that we have in-hand images of is of KSI Boss. Now unfortunately this is just a straight up repaint of Voyager class Nitro from the last night, which is such a shame, as although the robot mode looks fairly accurate, I really wish that had changed the head sculpt to give him the two prongs that hang on either side of his head. It definitely would have made this figure a lot more fitting of being a Studio Series release, as it would have been more accurate to what we see in the movie. But to be fair, it is a really nice looking repaint. As you can see, it has some fantastic silver paint applications in the robot mode with some nice gold accents throughout the torso, and I will be extremely surprised if this actually makes it to mass market looking like this, as I've never seen a figure look this good and be released at the mass market price point. Here we have an image of him in his jet mode, and once again I think it looks great in terms of paint applications. The silver paint application really does give it a very premium look, and if this makes it to market looking like this, I'll be extremely surprised, and this will definitely be the tipping point in whether or not this figure is worth picking up or not. As it looks right now, I definitely would recommend it. It does look like an improvement over Nitro, especially in terms of the paint applications, and it could fit in as KSI Boss, as he did look relatively similar to this. However, he did have a slightly more accurate head sculpt in robot mode. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts and feelings on the brand new Studio Series releases that have been revealed as part of Toy Fair 2019. Personally, I am reasonably happy with the releases that we've seen this year. I do wish that we would have perhaps gotten more. I would have loved if Shockwave was released this year, as that is one of the figures I am mostly anticipating. However, all the figures that have been revealed today are really solid, and are really making this line look as if though to be one of the best movie lines that we've ever got, possibly the best Transformers line of all time. Please let me know down in the comment section below what you think of these reveals today, and please let me know if you're happy with the reveals and whether or not you wish that more characters had been revealed. I have included links down in the description box down below of where I've got all of my images, so various sources will be linked there if you wish to check some of these images out in greater detail. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.